Hello, LX1, LXL1.hub. How are you? Hey, Shoshana. Somebody hit that. Hello, ShioPoE. Welcome to the Roland Faunte Radio Hour, ShioPoE. Oh, here's a call. Hello, Ritter MC.
Hello, it's nice to meet you. My name is Shoshana Smilansky, and I wanted to say shalom from Israel.
Sorry, one more time?
My name is Shoshana Smilansky, and I wanted to say shalom from Israel.
Oh, shalom.
Shalom, how are you, darling? You're looking so handsome. You okay?
Yeah, thank you very much.
That would be wonderful. So what kind of YouTube channel do you run?
Oh, wait, is this like uh, like a sales call?
No, my darling, I'm looking at you on YouTube. I was subscribed to you for some reason. I like live streams, and you were suggested to me the other day when I was sitting on my balcony and drinking chamomile tea overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. And I clicked subscribe, and then now I see you go live, and you say call, and you gave a call, a phone number, so I
Oh,
calling to say
perfect.
hello and
Thank
to
you
say
so
how
much.
are you, to say you are handsome and you are very beautiful young man. Okay?
Wow, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
You're
Wow.
very welcome. So what do? You a student or you work full time or what are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm a musician and
Ah.
I've been doing that for a couple years, and I put up a lot of videos of me playing my songs,
Oh.
and people liked them, which was great. And then we were introduced to this thing, which is YouTube Rodeo, where you can kind of do like a radio show, and that's how we got here. So,
I love it. I love it so much. I also do not a radio show, but I do a show called Isra Diva Live. Isra for Israel, Diva. Isra Diva, one word, live. And I interview all kinds of YouTubers, and we all go on the camera and we do all kinds of questions and fun games. And then at the end of every broadcast, we finish by playing a song. So, for example, I don't know if you know the transsexual Israeli pop singer called Dana International. She had a top hit in all of Europe called Diva, and it's Diva Maria, Viva Victoria, Aphrodita, Viva la Diva, Viva Victoria, Diva, like this. And we play the song, and we dancing, and we smiling and laughing, and everyone having a wonderful time.
that sounds so great. That sounds
It's
amazing.
it's wonderful.
I
So
think
what time is it where you're located?
it's 6:07. And
Six
for
or
do you mind,
seven.
let's take a
Okay.
moment. For anyone just joining us, do you want to reintroduce yourself a little bit and say shalom?
Of course. So shalom, everyone. My name is Shoshana Smilansky. I'm 62-year-old diva from Tel Aviv, Israel, going in between, back and forth, zigzag between Southern California, where I have a son who is a hypnotist. He's living there, getting his PhD in psychology and doing hypnosis. And the other half of the time I spent here in Israel. So now I actually go back to Israel from California. I flew here because it's a war and Iran is about to shoot rockets, and I wanted to be with my elderly mother and her caregiver because if they need help running to the shelter when the rocket is above, I wanted to help them. And everyone said to me, Shoshana, by the way, Shoshana means rose in Hebrew. Everyone says to me, Shoshana, are you crazy? Why do you want to leave your son to go back to the war zone? And I told them it's okay. I grew up in Israel my whole life. I've been through many wars. I've been through the rockets of 1973 and the 67 and Lebanon war in 82. It's a common day-to-day thing. So, hello, Chase. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you for the opportunity, and I'm so happy to say shalom to all of you. Okay?
Sorry, what was the last thing you said?
You okay?
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, we're here. We're good. And then just one more thing. So you were just kind of scrolling through YouTube Lives and you saw this?
Yes, it was suggested to me, the algorithm recommending all kinds of live stream to me and different content. You know the algorithm?
Algorithm? Yeah. Yeah, I know the algorithm. Yeah.
So for some reason, I noticed a trend in my recommendations. It's handsome young men like yourself that do live streaming. It's almost like the artificial intelligence knows everything about me and
Wow.
my taste, and it shows me beautiful young men, which is what I like. Okay?
Wow. So the algorithm thinks I'm handsome. That's pretty good news.
There we go.
Wow.
Young and handsome. Young and handsome. Listen. I have to get started. I'm jet lagged. I just landed here. It's 4 in the morning in Israel. It's still dark. I have to go and prepare for the morning, drink some coffee. I want to stay awake and only go to bed at 7 p.m. so that the jet lag disappear as soon as possible. And I must go and prepare for the rocket attack.
Oh,
So
the rockets are coming. Well,
everyone, thank you so much for having me. Thank you, my darling. Your name is, what is your name?
it's Roland.
Roland. Like Roland Barthes of the sociology. You know him?
I don't think I know him.
Look up Roland Barthes, Barthes, like Barthes, Barthes, Roland Barthes, famous sociologist. Anyway, thank you so much, and I'm going to call you in future shows. You are my new favorite person. I
Aw,
will
thank you.
subscribe.
We'll be
Okay,
happy to have
whenever
you
you.
back. We're here
Thank you
every
so much.
Tuesday. We're here every Tuesday at 6 Pacific.
Okay. I will come back. Hopefully the war is nice and no one dies. Okay,
I
bye
hope
bye.
so. Okay, bye.
Bye
Oh,
bye.
also, the chat says they love you. Huh. All right, that was absolutely awesome. Ronald. I was asking for it, frankly. All right, somebody else call. This is on whose name means Rose. We now know, which is great. It's fine. Wait, it's actually kind of funny that your username is what to call me. And I'm saying what to call me. But yeah, no, I know that there are a lot of people who think it's Ronald Faunte, and I'm at peace with that. Um, there was a call waiting, but it's gone now. But anyway, you know what? If you want to keep calling me Ronald, I support that. I think that's totally fine. If you're from another country, it probably won't go through, but we've been developing, yeah, so for the Kath and others,
Oh,
it'll be,
hello?
hello? Yes, welcome to the Roland Faunte Radio Hour.
Hi, what's up?
Not too much. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I just saw that you just went live on YouTube. And, I just thought it'd be really cool if I could just pop in and say hi and just chat to you for a second. I wanted to first of all just like thank you for all of your music. Like when I first found your music I was in a really tough time and I was just I really needed something to put what I was going through into words, and I think your music really like embodied that and did that. So I just wanted to say that to you first off, and just thank you for helping me through that,
Thank you.
and a lot of other people.
Are you feeling
Yeah.
better now?
Oh yeah. It's been about a year, or two, yeah, it's been like about 2 years, but I'm doing a lot better now. And I still come back to your music sometimes because it's just like, I don't know, there's just something about it that's also just the vibe of it and the air around it, I think is like really raw and inspirational, you know?
Yeah, yeah. I think I like that phrasing, the air around it. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
that's cool. So, do you mind if I ask, was it like health stuff, kind of like my stuff, or just life went south, or what were those bad times? I love hearing stories of hope, I guess. So, I'm just
Yeah, yeah, no, no, you're good. Um, I guess what was happening is that I was going through a really bad breakup, and I was um, I was really devastated, not only because of that itself, but even before then, I was having really bad mental health issues and dealing with um, some really bad thoughts in my life, and just it was really difficult to pick myself back up, like the pieces of me, and just try and put them back together. But what I realized is that what ended up happening is that I couldn't piece myself back together in the way that I had been,
yeah,
and like into the person that I used to be. But um, what ended up happening is that it made me stronger and learn some really good lessons for myself. And so then I could learn to be a better person and focus on what actually like made me happy. And once I was able to do that, and it's not just like, oh, you wake up one day and suddenly everything's changed overnight, but
yeah,
it was really, really long, difficult process where
it's not just like a straight linear slope upwards, but the days go up and down. Some days you'll be having the best time of your life, and you'll think, "Oh man, is this what it's really like this? I'm gonna be happy." And then, like 2 days from then, you'll have a really really bad day, and then it'll just all come crumbling down, and you think to yourself like, "Man, am I ever gonna like stay happy or like how I see everyone else?" And but then like you get to know yourself better, and you get to know you get more insight on the way life is, and it helps. You can use that to work through it, and not get over it, because you never really get over something. You
Yeah.
just move on. You know.
Yeah, I think there are so many things that you said that I agree with. But the one I think that also took me a while was wanting to get back to who I was. Because it was like, I was
Mm,
pretty happy at like, I think maybe 17. And then 18, things were getting shaky. 19, horrible. 20, horrible. And then
yeah.
it was like the last time I remembered being happy was when I was 17, but now I'm 21, or, yeah, 2021. And it's like, well, obviously you can't, go back to that. And there hasn't been
Mm,
a happy version of you developing and growing in the meantime. So the last happy thing you had, happy version, is, 3 years, 4 years out of date. Um,
yeah.
And so you have to
Yeah.
just build a new one. And like you can try to loosely model off of, but I also feel like, I talk to a lot of my friends have mental illnesses of varying kinds. But like the one thing that comes up for a lot of us, especially with like the bipolar and schizophrenic people, like, because we
Mm,
really get our symptoms right around 18, like pretty reliably. Some people get them a little earlier. But I think for those two especially, we kind of get to lead pretty normal lives up until that point, and then we just get like
yeah.
decimated, and then a couple years go by, and you're like, well, I no longer remember like what it means to be normal. I don't really remember being happy, all that stuff, and so it's like the further you get, the less you're able to reference your earlier self. And then, yeah, it just feels like you're starting
Mm,
from scratch. And then the other thing you said that stuck out was you were talking about how, when am I going to be happy like everybody else? Um,
mm,
and it was like, I remember this one day I was thinking about, I was very suicidal, and I was thinking about how I wish I could go into like an old folks home and find someone who was like
mm,
really scared of dying and just switch with them. Be like, you can have my body and my life, and you'll get another however many years. I'll take your body, and just like then I'll die
mm,
sooner or something.
yeah.
Anyway, but I remember I was driving, and I got to the point in the thought where I was like, I would trade my life for literally anyone else's. And I just drove past this
Yeah.
one guy
Oh,
who was just like doing construction, just minding his own business, probably like middle aged, 55 years old, normal life. And I was like, I would trade with you in a heartbeat. Like you're working, you're an active member of society, you probably sleep at night, and you don't need to take a bunch of pills and have a fucked up body, and whatever. And it was
mm,
just such a strong thought. Like, I will trade my life with yours or anyone's.
yeah. Yeah, I get that.
So
And but then again, like, what is normal? Because I mean, on one hand, you look at other people and you're like, and you're like imagining for yourself what other people's lives might be like. But then again, like first impressions, and like that same person might have just lost a really close family member, and they could be suffering too. And you look around at everybody, and I mean, everybody's got something going on. And one of the one of the things that a person has to realize is that like other people like do have a lot of pains and insecurities, and probably like I can almost promise you that almost every single person on the planet has thought to themselves at least once, like, I wish that I could trade places with anybody else, like from Friday the 13th. No, no, Freaky Friday. That's the
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
No, Friday the 13th. Um, but yeah. So like, and it's part of being human to just have a deep levels of complexity that nobody would ever know unless they were you, you know?
Yeah, and
Like, yeah,
I think that I don't know, there's like an urge to, you know, if you look at all the things that you know for sure, it's like a ridiculously small list, and even you could argue
yeah,
like you don't actually know anything for sure. And
mm,
so it's natural to kind of like fill in the unknowns with something. So you see some random person just walking down the street, you don't know anything about them, and you could be like, wow, that person is so happy and everything's going great for them. Or you could, maybe you're like really egotistical and you're like, wow, I'm so much better than them, I'm awesome, or whatever.
yeah,
You know, you can
yeah,
paint them however you want. um but I just would always paint them as better than me. And so I like spent so much time trying to paint them as like my equal, you know, like it was
mm,
like they're not better than me or worse than me. And then the actual breakthrough is when I just stopped painting them altogether. And I was like, I don't know shit about that person, and I'm not even interested in pretending to know about that person. And I felt like that was when I finally was able to get ahead of this stuff. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's good.
Some of it's just growing up. Other parts of it are a little more, what's the word?
And,
Pathological.
mm, yeah, yeah, I get that. I guess at some point or another, it's just a matter of how not content you can be with your own life, but how much, like, on what level you can accept it. You know, like, have you ever heard like stories about like these like extremely wealthy, happy people who are like seemingly like you would assume they're happy, but when you go into like an interview with them and you ask them like, "What's it like being like XYZ?" and they're like, "Oh, I hate this." Like, um, other people's dream that they're living, and like they're just completely falling apart on the inside.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like it's very much related to that. And you know, even if you're like not living that like dream life that you want, and like you're like, oh, if I just had this, this, and this, everything would be fine. Like whether or not those things are achievable or like realistic, but at one point or another, it's just a matter of you being like, okay, like I accept that this is myself, and I'm gonna keep being myself, for the rest of my life. Like there's no changing that. There's no escaping like the person that I'm hardwired to be. Like, not this facade that people put on to make themselves seem a certain way on the outside, but like the person you're hardwired to be like on the inside. Like once you accept like I am this person, then it gets a lot easier to walk through life and not stare at other people longingly wishing that like you were them, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's like sorting things into categories of can and cannot be controlled. And I think when you're
Mm,
younger, you think that your personality is fully customizable and your like
yeah,
traits are customizable, whatever. And then at some point, you're like, okay, it seems like no matter what I do, this part of me, remains. And obviously, like, there are extreme
yeah,
examples. I think, like, my friends who have had issues with addiction, they're like, there is this part of me that's stronger than me that is wanting me to, use these substances, and I have to find a way to change it. And sometimes it takes a very radical thing. But I think on, the day to day stuff, just the sort of habits
yeah,
and all that stuff, there isn't um, that much you can do about who you are. But I also think that, like, this is something I've been thinking about a lot. Like, when you're like a kid and then even through your teenage and college years, like, whether it's school or parents or something, like, usually you do something and then someone tells you whether or not it was right. And so there's like some
yeah,
sort of right answer that comes from a higher authority. And as long as you can get it, then you're good. And that's like sort of the goal. And then you get past college and there's nobody to tell you what you should or should not be doing. There's like little bits of advice and stuff, but it's really, there's no right answer
yeah,
anymore. And that can be sort of
yeah,
scary. And then at some point you're like, oh, I will decide if it was the right answer or not. And then
yeah,
you've successfully sort of morphed into the adults that used to tell you what was right or wrong. Um,
yeah. Just like living in that gray area.
yeah,
And
and not being so
yeah,
scared, not thinking that it's.
mm,
Uh,
no, yeah, I get that. Um, it because like you grow up and you're very much relying on other people to, as a kid, you want other people like your parents and stuff that, and people that you look up to like kind of give you these tools and these like little lessons to prepare you for your life ahead, like build those foundations of morality, right and wrong, and all that kind of stuff. And as you said, like once you get out of that, like you're you're on your own. You're your own person. And I guess like if you didn't have those like strong foundations already built, it's like even more difficult to learn for yourself and to go through life not thinking like, oh, is this the right decision or is this the wrong decision? Like with finance, upkeep of yourself, upkeep of relationships, and you know, all that kind of stuff, which I think is a lot why, you know, especially when you're younger, you really need those people, those um, more like morally um, confident figures in your life to help you build that because those are the tools that are going to help you go through those further stages in life. Whatever you build off of when you're younger has like huge, huge, huge influence on when you're older and like young 20s, late 20s, and so forth.
Yeah. This stuff is just the other thing that like blows me away. I mean, it hasn't been surprising me as much as I get further from it, but like you're in high school or college and everybody's pretty much the same. Like when I was a senior in college and like I'm sitting around with all my friends and we're all getting different degrees and doing different things, but in that moment we're fundamentally the same. And then just within a couple years of graduating, you see these drastic shifts in what, like, once people are
Yeah,
truly 100% left to their own devices. It's like in college, like, they tell you where to live, they tell you what to do. You can kind of, like, you're more independent than you were,
yeah,
but functionally you're not, you know.
yeah. Like you have classes and professors and those
Yeah, like if you
people.
stop going, if
Yeah,
you like stop going to class or something, someone will reach out. Or I mean, not as much as in high school, but yeah. But then after that, it's like, okay, you're an adult. No one is responsible for you except for you, and no one really gives a fuck if you fail. And then
yeah,
the amount of people that just like either imploded or whatever. I mean, it was just I couldn't believe it. I had always kind of seen my peers as like, yeah, they'll figure it out. They'll be okay. It's all going to work
yeah.
out in the
And then
end.
they don't.
And then you're like, no, it's not all going to work out in the end. You have to make it work out in the end because I don't. It's been bizarre, and it's also been bizarre to see how the the more you retain that sort of childlike outlook, the harder you just get pummeled. You know. Um,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it can really be like like a death spiral of I don't know. It's kind of wild. And I say that, coming from a really generally like high income country with we don't have like amazing social services, but it's
yeah,
not like
yeah.
but even still there's plenty of suffering to experience.
Oh yeah.
So,
Just because like a place has more financial fortune, like a lot less unfortunate than um even with that, I mean, there's still millions and millions of other factors that can, make a person a lot more unstable. Even like if it doesn't show in childhood and teenagehood, like definitely does like come up and spring up in adulthood.
yeah, I was just
Kind of like,
looking at this Jess put in I went straight to living alone once I was 16 and got my naivete knocked out of me. Yeah, it's kind of like and to your point as well, I feel like people don't grow up unless they absolutely have to. And
yeah, yeah,
because it's not fun. It's great on the other side, I think, but I don't know. Or even actually I was going to say a different thing. Earlier you were talking about like people who um look at someone wealthy and they're like, oh, if that's my dream life, if I had that I'd be happy, whatever. I feel like I run into
yeah,
that with the music stuff a lot, where like whenever I first put out the album, there was this band that had 100,000 streams on a song, and
yeah,
I was like, if I just had that, everyone would take me seriously, and it would be great, and everything would be amazing. Um, and then it was just, what if I could get like 5,000 followers on Instagram or whatever, and I kept hitting these things that I swore were like the dreams.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Like quantifying it.
yeah, and then
Like
people look
quantifying
at like
happiness.
what I am, and I, like I'm very, very proud of what I've accomplished so far, but I don't feel anywhere near like sort of settled,
Yeah.
or whatever. I still have a long way to go. And they're like, man, well, if I was just had your stuff, then I'd be happy. And I'm like, that is just a losing game. Just try to get to the
Mm-hmm.
next step. Nothing else actually matters. And that new mentality has been super useful for me recently. That like I can plan out like one next step, and if I can achieve it, great. If not, reassess. But other than that, like trying to track out these 10-year plans or whatever the fuck else, it's like there's never been a point in my life that I've accurately mapped out 10 years. It's, the amount of curveballs and surprises have just been ridiculous. So,
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
anyway,
Life tends to throw all the curveballs it can. But,
I wish I want to hear about Jess's. I wish we could do group calls. Oh, fuck, I just hung up. Son of a bitch, I didn't know it was going to do that. It just said invite guest. Ay, ay, ay. Fucking hell, this thing, man. Oof. Whoopsies. Okay, well, if that person is still here, I would invite them to call back, but if not, get Zoom. Yeah. Iki, if you're in America, I would say just just call, and if you really hate it, you can hang up. Nothing really bad can happen, honestly. This is the Roland Faunte Radio Hour. Man, I can't believe I hung up on that person. That was so fucking stupid. Wait, dear universe, are you the person I was just talking to? There's a delay on my, no, I'm in Asia. Okay. This is crazy. I watch myself from the past. Oh, here's a call. Person I'm talking to? Hello? There's a delay on my,
Hello?
Diego?
No?
Oh, hey, Pete.
I'm kidding, it is. I'm sorry.
What?
Hello.
You're out of your
I
mind,
don't
bro.
I'm sorry. I don't know how to follow up on what's just been taking place.
Oh,
Uh,
well, let me say goodbye to my friend, Dear Universe. Thank you to you for that amazing conversation.
yes.
Alyssa, are you in America by any chance? Um,
If you can get them back on the line, please get them back in.
no, I don't know. I really gotta graduate to Discord. I just don't know how to like. There's no way to notify the YouTube subscribers that the Discord thing is moving.
Right. I might have some solutions for you. We can probably talk about that another time if you want to. But I did have a question for you.
Hit me.
Okay. if you could travel anywhere in the world, but you had to do it by okay, let me rephrase it. If you had to travel anywhere in the world outside of the US, like you could go, but you had to get there by doing a canoe, where would you go?
Canoe.
Yeah, like you had to manpower that thing.
Do I have any incentives for like what's gonna happen when I get there?
Let's say the longer you're in it, you get you get like $100,000 for each day that you're on that trip, like you're canoeing.
Is the canoe like? Is there a
You are
support boat?
safe.
Like, what
You
about
are safe.
food?
There's like, go ahead.
Like food, sunscreen, water, everything.
Yeah, so like there's like a crew provided. There's a crew providing, but you just got to manpower it the whole way.
Hawaii. I'm just kidding.
Oh. I mean, it'll still probably take a few days to get to Hawaii. Not gonna lie.
No, I know. It's just it's not a different country. God, this is harder than I thought it would be. It's a day. Hold on. I'm gonna look up how fast canoes go.
Oh, that's actually I probably should have looked that up. I should have done my research. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm so mad. Okay, so top end speed given relatively little experience, a loaded canoe might be 4 miles an hour.
Oh.
So if I go to Thailand,
Oh.
Thailand as the crow flies. 8,276 miles. Well, I'm just gonna go to Japan.
Okay. So let's see. Wait. So to Japan. Or so that'd be what? It's about like 4,500 miles. You're going 4 miles per hour. I can't English. I can't math today. Hold on.
Just hit that cross multiplication.
1,000 hours. Or sorry. Yeah, 1,000 hours because you're going that English. Oh, that's like 41 days.
And you said I
um,
get what do I get 100 grand?
you would get 100 grand per day that you're going. So you'd get a pretty chill over 4 mil.
Yeah, I do Japan. I mean, I wonder when my body would start to like break down. What's the scenario where that happens? Like I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to go to Japan." I get halfway there and then my shoulder is like rip, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see what you're saying. Let's say that crew that's there to like help you along kind of situation. They have like a full on kind of boat, so like you can take a break if you need to. You can chill.
Yeah, I mean, I would just go as far as possible then and just get the most
It's actually
money.
true.
I don't even
Like
care
why?
if it's.
Just keep on going.
Yeah, I might just
Rack up that
Magellan
money.
this shit. I'll say that I want to go to fucking, the east coast of Mexico,
Okay.
and I just take the long way.
Not the long way.
Yeah, Magellan it. I
Yeah.
circumnavigate.
Yeah.
I think I would like to circumnavigate.
This question, this has turned around a little bit more than I expected. Yeah. No, but honestly, though, yeah, milk that anyway.
I told you, I want to. Melissa has been trying to call. It says it can't go through and hangs up.
So that's what was going on with me too. It would like be like, oh, like thank you for contacting the fan line. Like you're chosen, you'll go through, and then immediately says like an application error has occurred. Goodbye, and then just hangs up on you like immediately. And I just made the phone call like when the line stopped on the stream,
Oh, so
and I
there.
just let it sit.
It doesn't let me have calls waiting anymore. Because that was the first time
I
I did it. There were like 4
yeah.
waiting, and I could just people would just wait, and then I don't know. Is
Oh,
the Radio
gotcha.
Hour International in Discord for this? Yeah, it is. I mean,
We can table that one and we can come back to it because that would be really cool if it could be international. And also Discord or a different like service that is international, I'm sure would be also easier for you to manage.
yeah, I have one. I have a thing in the Discord. Um, Let me pull it up here. You're you're the perfect person to have on right now. In
Oh
the
yeah, I
soon to
actually
be
have to
Red
ask you about the
Square.
Discord stuff later too. So
In the soon to be Red Square, there's Radio Hour International, and it's a stage. Iki's in there actually. Um, and Jess wants to pick my brain. That sounds pretty fun, honestly. Maybe just next week we'll just do it. We'll just do it in Discord. I'll do the like every other. That's gonna be so annoying, but every other Tuesday it's YouTube or Discord. I feel like we'll end up just being Discord the whole time, but
you could still stream it on YouTube and just have the call and just like stream and like screen record and just broadcast it through your computer that way, so I can like do still like your audio, the Discord audio, and all that. So it could still work.
maybe I should just get over it and get over to Twitch. I feel like that's the ultimate. Become a Twitcher.
There you go. Tuesdays.
Leave a message in the community tab. Yeah, that is. You had said that earlier. I didn't know what you meant, but now I know exactly what you mean. Okay. This is cool. I can stream. All this stuff is so. I can stream my Discord to my YouTube. Like, what the fuck is going on these days?
Huh?
Like just the idea of that, like that I'll be live on
Yeah.
Discord streaming it through to YouTube is just open Discord navigate the switch connections menu. Huh.
We can we get the prime. Someone Melissa just said get the primes in the chat. I'm crying. We can definitely work on that because that could be really cool if that gets up and running. But I will let you go to get somebody else in here for the last little bit of your little hour here. I gotta go make some dinner. But thank you for letting me slide on in here to say hi and ask the canoe question.
You are always welcome at whatever I am doing, Diego.
I appreciate it, man. Have a great rest of your night. I'll be in touch. We'll talk later. Have a good one.
See you. Bye.
See ya.
With Discord, you can make a waiting room and drag one person in at a time or have other flexibility. Alright, my friends. I think we're going to try Discord next week then. I'll post about it, but I guess we'll do just live at 6. Oh, here's a call. Where did it go? Whoever just called, call again. I don't know why it glitches out. Here we go. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh my god, this fucking thing. I wish that first lady would come back. That was fucking awesome. Alright, if this thing doesn't work and... Oh, okay. Oh my god, it blinks, it says there's a call, I click it, it goes away. Hello?
Hello?
Hello, welcome to the Roland Faunte Radio Hour.
Oh, hi. I didn't think I'd make it this far. Hi.
Hey, what's going on?
Have you ever taken the 16 personalities quiz test?
16 personalities. What is that? The INTP thing?
Yeah.
I think that the Myers-Briggs thing.
Yeah. Do you know what you test?
I think I was either an ENTP or an INTP, but
Oh,
I
you're wrong
also
then.
I took it last time I took it was in 10th grade, and I think my personality has changed a little bit from then. I used to be a lot more extroverted. I don't think the E really applies to me anymore.
I
And
feel that.
yeah, I don't know. I wonder if they have like it would be interesting to see how certain events changed people's personalities. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
like if I was an ENTP and then the things that happened and then I retake it and I get what I get. I don't know. So,
Okay.
what do you got? What are you working with? What's your score?
Oh, well, mine is INFP. I've taken it so many times. I've gotten it every single time except for twice, where I got ISFP once, which is like the adventure, and the other one was INTP, which is my college roommate. But yeah, so I don't know. Just by the feel of your music, I felt like you were one of us because there's a lot of art people there. But but it's very every person is unique. So like literally, whenever I make my friends take it, it's like here, fit in this box that doesn't define you. But it's a fun basis to be like, is this true? Yes or no? Like a little framework. Yeah. But it's
Okay.
fun to guess correctly it's on like certain people, But.
Do you think it's like how scientific do you think it is? Do you know what I mean?
I one person I really respect called it like a pseudoscience. So it's based off. It's kind of similar, but the main psychologist, he's like the big five personality test.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
probably the more accurate one to use. It's just easier to wrap my mind around the 4-letter one because they each have like a little character. So it's like a mythology. It's like a stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
One time I told my friend, which is kind of embarrassing, but like I told, like, cause it's like stereotypes and mythology, but it's also like Hogwarts houses for like Harry Potter, and they have a
Right.
little grouping community. I said it's like I'm trying to remember what I said. Like he laughed really hard at it, but he was like, I said it's like because it's stereotypes, like being racist, but for personality types. But I didn't. I don't know. But my friend thought it was funny. But who knows what it is? It's not the most accurate. There are definitely better options out there. I like the strength tests because it like focuses on like what you're good at. There's one I really like that's like strength test.
What was the last thing? A strength test?
Oh yeah, but there's a free strength test. Like it has like 20 strengths. There's also one that costs money that has like 34 strengths that I really liked. Called Clifton Strengths, but it costs money. So and then there's and there's a big five that splits it into 10. I'm going on tangent here. Also, I love your music. Some of my favorite songs are Lovers, Lake, and The Brick One.
Oh, I do love the brick one. Yeah. Yeah, but I've been seeing the the Myers-Briggs stuff in people's bios more and
Yeah,
more, and so I feel like people are taking it somewhat seriously. I remember
yeah,
talking to someone who's, deep into astrology stuff, and she was like, I like if I liked someone or I was being set up or something and I found out they were a Capricorn, like I literally wouldn't even pursue it. Like I wouldn't even think about it. And I was
yeah.
like, and are there, I don't know how many there are or whatever, but the sort of portion of the population that she just carved out, it was just kind of like, it's a good chunk. It's like a lot of people who are now off limits. Um, And so I wonder if people do that with Myers Briggs. They're like, oh, I'm not even gonna try to be friends with you.
No. Well, maybe. I was definitely waiting to the test. Like, it's not like the Bible. It's definitely not like all say. It's definitely flawed, but it's a good basis to learn from. But I probably should not have been way into it. Like, it shouldn't replace your identity. You're like more than a couple of letters, you know.
Yeah,
But it's fun.
I think that stuff is I don't know. People love learning about themselves, but then they kind of like accidentally create like I don't know. I remember this one time hanging out with some other people who like astrology, and this girl had like forgotten some, and I forget stuff all the time. It's not like I'm shading her, but she had forgotten something like pretty substantial. Whether it was like a rent thing or I don't remember exactly what it was, but like something that if you forget, it would it'd be a pretty big deal. And I think she was like, "Oh well, like it's not my fault because I'm like a Libra or whatever." I think that was the right one. I don't really know.
Yeah, it's not
But
an
the
excuse.
thing that really blew me away is that everyone in the room was like, "Oh yeah, 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 totally. It's not your fault." And I was like, "Whoa."
No, there's got to be
You just
consequences.
let her off the hook because of whatever it
Yeah.
is. I mean, but they were serious. They were like, "Yeah, we're not mad at you, or we don't
Yeah.
blame you because it's not your fault." Like I was just like,
So
"God damn."
so my brothers are like really big history nerds. So they like to say that like the entire Libra Leo whatever thing is like off by like a little bit or something because of like there was like a calendar jump or something. So he likes to say that everyone's wrong, but he also likes to make people mad by arguing people. They're a sparky personality, but
I
but
know,
it's
I know
not
people like that, history buffs who love
random. Yeah.
poking holes, but
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I say that I tell people I'm a Gemini, and it seems to, you know,
Yeah,
really
mine doesn't fit
maintain.
me at all, so I kind of just threw it out the window.
Hmm.
Yeah,
What?
mine doesn't fit me at all, so I threw it out the window.
Yeah, and it also is like someone sent me some TikTok of some astrology stuff, and the person said like maybe 15 to 20 things, and one of them was correct, and then they sent it to me and was like, look at like the fifth one or something. And so I wait, and I get to the fifth one, and it's a thing about Geminis. Is that it's completely correct. It's exactly what was going on in my life. And at first, I'm like, oh my gosh, wow. And then I was like, no, this guy just went 1 for 15. That's not, you know, if you gave me 15 guesses to guess something about your life, I could probably do it. you know because it was like Geminis and so's are doing this, and Geminis and this is doing that, and so whatever. But it was just funny to see myself ignore the 14, um and then get super pumped about the one, and then almost walk away being like, wow, it's real.
Well, if you make enough words vague enough, you could eventually fit those vague words to like any situation or a lot of them. So it like, you know, there might be like some cognitive bias or something. But yeah, I don't know.
The vaguer it is, the more likely it is to be true, and the less likely it is to be useful.
Yeah.
I got my man Shio Poe, I don't know, is also a Gemini. And Dear Universe's dad is a Gemini. So looks like we got a good showing here. But I think also like Gemini's horoscopes can be like a mirror and sort of like give you the opportunity to notice things about yourself, I guess. Like I remember I did a tarot reading with someone, and the stuff that was being said was very vague, but in applying it to my life, it sort of highlighted certain things, you know? And I guess it could be like useful in that way. But I don't know. All this stuff is just like fun. I feel like I know people who take it really, really seriously, and I think that that's a little silly. And then I also know people who, for some reason, like despise zodiac signs and like make it their fucking business to like talk about zodiac signs and how stupid they are. And those people are also very annoying.
It's funny.
I don't know. I wish I believed in zodiac signs or something like that. I could go for that. Just a little bit of connection with the universe and the stars and stuff like that. That sounds kind of cool. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But how's your life going? What's going on? What's the news?
Your music found me at like a hard time in my life, you know, depression, and then it ended up being bipolar after like I guess I had a pretty happy, sheltered childhood. I'm going to jump around here, but you know, I had a long distance relationship, and then it was spanned several years, and then in college it broke off, and then that started depression and antidepressants, which was like Lexapro, that made me manic, and I think I think it was 2021 in July, maybe. And then it was just like 3 years of just hell. And then I had like so much shame related to bipolar.
Yep.
So your music did help. Lots of other music did. And then I worked on and off. Kind of had no purpose because you were talking about earlier how there's like no purpose after school. You got to kind of find your own, and it's an adjustment. And then so I went to school for nursing for 2 years. It definitely was not me. I got more squeamish, not less. I'm also have a very sensitive stomach. But so junior year, I tried to go like day one, and I threw up because I have a stomach issue, acid reflux, and then they literally sent me home with a full refund and told me not to tell anyone. But anyways, so I went home and had no purpose, was like extremely depressed. I worked for 6 months. That was kind of my purpose, but then I kind of got bullied out of it. And I think it was because I had a mental break, but like, I don't know what I did wrong. I was trying hard. It's just eventually I couldn't sit still. But I left that job, and then I really liked it because I didn't have to talk to anyone. I just sanitized the machine. It was pretty great. And then what else? I was doing some but I guess and then eventually I got a part-time job as an art assistant, so that's what I'm doing currently. And actually, what really helped me in the end was Jesus Christ, and then learning about Christianity, and that actually really helped me. And like and then I've had a genuine sense of peace and like joy, and I never understood the word joy for like several months. But like I thought like happiness would be a good word, but joy is different. It's just I didn't know what it was in all of my childhood. Also, I was very ignorant, like even though part of it 22 years, like never clicked, because like no one, like, you know, actually told me what it was. They never put a Bible in my hand. They never actually told me what it was. I don't know. And I guess that basically it. So like, I don't know. They never told me whatever the gospel was, which is like, you can't really do anything to save you, and like, judgment, like, you might have done all these good things, but you still murdered a person. But like, but basically, like, all of it's covered by like believing and repentance. And I don't quite know it, but anyways, that was a lot. But I don't know. Thanks for letting me share. And but honestly, that really helped me. And now I just need to get over my procrastination and lack of responsibility and get going. And also, I want to try lots of things. Like, I want to try all the arts. I don't. I just keep talking and talking. I'm sorry. I jump around. And then basically, I want to try a lot of things. I'm currently learning piano, so maybe one day I'll try to cover your songs and do covers, because I'm very inspired by my other long distance boyfriend that just appeared in my life, who seems to be like perfect. But I'm not going to say that, because he's definitely not. But like, for me, fits me very well. And I'm like, I don't know, it's like a mirror. But anyways, we'll see. Time will tell. And I'm excited for the future, even though, tough times may come. And also, I haven't had bipolar symptoms for several months, so I don't know if I'm cured, but, I'll be vigilant. But it's great. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking now.
Are you on medicines?
I haven't been on medicine since October, so I think it's been at least 9 months. But I also have not been depressed, which is very dangerous. The medicines did help me. I had a 6-month. So I went bipolar once, extremely depressed, and then so that first, whenever they sent me home from school, they sent me I signed myself. I threw up. I had a dishwashing job for my college that I signed up for, because I expected to go to college, but I didn't. And so I was going to work on an empty stomach, because I was throwing up every day for a month straight. And I was going to work on an empty stomach. And then I signed myself into the psych ward. They kept me for 20 days, and then they put me in a 6-month program. It didn't really do much for me, but it did get my medication sorted, because they put me on so many meds, like polypharmacy, that like really messed with my system. And I did not know what was going on. I really tried to read all the side effects. I figured out which one gave me constipation, but like, it was so confusing. And like, I would have rather suffered longer term and had one medication at a time than a bunch of meds at once that, a lot of them didn't work. And we found 2 different meds that worked. They took me off the one because of the breakdown. Seroquel, that worked pretty good. Took me off of that, and then they put me on Resveratrol. I was pretty good for a while, and I kind of just stopped taking them at some point, and I have had no symptom changes. But I still have to be very vigilant, because bipolar is very dangerous. So I don't recommend going off of it, but it is good to be.
I take Seroquel. I tried Risperol, and
it's a good thing.
Fucked me up. But I'm interested though in this. Like, when you had this moment of Christian convergence, I have a bunch of different questions. The first one is, though, like, you said specifically that Jesus helped you, but I've been interested in the Old Testament God a lot, and it does seem like such a different. I know they say like the Old and New Testaments is the same God, but like, how do you interact? Is it really what Jesus said and mostly New Testament stuff, or do you feel like the whole Bible and God in general was super helpful?
Okay, so I haven't read the book yet. I picked it up for the first time, I think, a couple months ago. I still haven't finished. I tried reading it front to back. I didn't get very far, but I've been addicted to binging content. I've been binging like near-death experiences where people see heaven or hell, or like, they die and come back and tell you, and it's like so interesting. And then what was the question? I got distracted. The Old Testament, New Testament. Okay, so what I've gleaned from watching a lot of Christian content is like the Old Testament is like. I also had a theology class, and it's still the gospel didn't click. I was very interested. What I learned from that was there's things like judgment, mercy, forgiveness, service, sacrifice. So I guess like in the Old Testament, they would like sacrifice animals to cover your sins, but it's only a temporary solution, and Jesus is the permanent solution. But I guess the Old Testament what the impression I'm getting is the Old Testament is like rules, laws, like how to conduct yourself. It is the same God as the Old as the New, and you could learn a lot. I think there's like ceremony rules, that like are no longer apply because of Jesus. I still have to deep dive into this, so I'm very, very new still. So I'm not an expert. So like ceremony role might not apply anymore. So like there's a lot of rules in the old stuff, and like some of it's like wild. I haven't read it yet, so I should probably read. And then the new one is like relationship. That's the impression I'm getting. Old is like role, and the new one is like relationship. And then like I guess with the Holy Spirit, you like get wants or something. Also, an interesting is I actually felt the Holy Spirit at so I was really deep in a depression hole, and I didn't want to be around anymore. But eventually, the YouTube algorithm, I don't know. Eventually, the YouTubes found me, and then like literally like the idea of like being completely washed clean, because I was so ridden with guilt with like I had thought I done something extremely terrible. There's no way I'm making the heaven, But the idea of like being completely washed clean and like being able to do it, it's very like it was so simple, A lot of times you like expect it to be like complex or something, but it was like so simple. It was like I guess it's by grace, Very interesting. I was going somewhere, but I totally forgot where I was going.
Was there? You said that you felt the Holy Spirit, like there was a moment where you were like, "Oh,
Yeah,
it's here."
it was a warm feeling, and so I actually went to like a live stream, like a prayer to like experience it, and then I did. And then I also went to the same person's live streams where they have like healings, and they did pray for that one with the mind. And like I was watching, and I was dealing with mind things, like because that would be me. I have no clue. So like no proof that I've been healed, and no proof that was me. Could have been, couldn't have been. I don't know. Still have to be vigilant. But I'm reading the book that the guy wrote. Currently, I haven't finished it, but like I guess you can still believe in a miraculous recovery but still take practical steps to it. Sometimes there's a plan. I still have to deep dive and understand more. I'm a little ignorant there, but like when are you not healed? And it's very interesting. Like spiritual warfare and is interesting because it's like real. I don't know, but it's pretty cool. And the casting out demons and like healing, like people are like called to do that. I don't really know, so I have to learn a lot because like my church never showed me any of that side, like of the spiritual side. Like, sorry, anyways.
No, this is cool. I mean, literally anything that brings someone out of those places is a miracle in and of itself. But I feel like I guess, I was raised Catholic and, went through the CCD program and confirmation and all that stuff. And I think that, I've been reading this book called Reading Genesis. And there's just a lot of stuff. Like, you get raised in it, and so you think you understand it, but actually, it's such a vast, like, expanse of thoughts and ideas, and you can't really explain most of them to, like, like a seventh grader, let's say.
Yeah.
And so there's just no way to. It's like it almost if it's gonna happen for you, you kind of have to find it later in life once
Yeah.
you've experienced either pain or just more of life. For you, like someone could have explained to you the concept of being pure and all that stuff when you were younger, but it wouldn't really mean anything to you because you had never been so
Yeah.
full of shame and all that. Unfortunately, I have to hop off. I have to go to a rehearsal. But it was great to talk to you. What's your name?
Marissa, thank you for talking to me. Maybe I'll call in a couple weeks from now so I don't take up other people's time.
Cool. Yeah, no rush. No, I mean, it's not taking up time. We just, everybody gets to talk for as long as they want. I just usually, but I have to go to a rehearsal. But yeah, I wish you the best with all of that stuff, and I'm very, very happy that you are feeling better.
Thanks.
And yeah, I'll see you around, either here or on Discord or whatever.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Hopping off.
Bye.
Bye. All right. I know you guys are, looks like, chatting it up about religion a little bit, but I am gonna end the live. Bye, Miranda. Thank you for listening to Jet Fuel. See you, Melissa. Sorry, Susanna. Thank you, dear universe. You too. Thank you, Shio Pio. Do 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 do.